Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Rupi. I know there's a lot of you that are very new to my channel, so thank you so much for subscribing and deciding to stick around. I'm super excited to share more content with you guys, and as you can tell by the title, I have another maybe not so exciting for a lot of people, but I'm excited about this one. It's Artist Couture, the brand new Supreme Bronze palette. I'm so excited about it. My packaging is already kind of dirty because I was pulling out other palettes to be able to compare with this. So let me show you a close-up of the unit carton. So it's this beautiful like matte bronze packaging, which if you remember the packaging for, or the outer carton packaging for the Supreme Nudes was like a matte black. So I was, you know, it came in this kind of shiny black plastic. So I was like, ooh, it's bronze. That means the palette must be bronze. It's also black. So I don't mind. I mean, like I like that it's, I mean, mine already has fingerprints all over it too, so I apologize. But the only difference really between the two is that one has more bronze writing, so you can barely see it there because of my lighting, I feel like. You can really see this one because this one's more metallic. So I feel like you have to be angled a certain way. So let me see if I can show you. Do you see that? It's really funny how it just kind of is disappearing because of my lighting. It's literally because of my lighting. That's so weird. And then my lighting's kind of washing it out. Don't know what's happening with that. So that's the difference. Also, this is like metallic writing, whereas this is not metallic writing. And I think that's why it shows up. Because see, if you see the Artist Couture underneath, it also goes into hiding. So basically it just looks like a plain black from here. But if you angle it the right way, you'll see. In person, you can see it, I promise. So I'm super excited because I really do love the Supreme Nudes palette and I love bronze shadows. Natasha Denona Bronze was a palette that I really wanted in my life for a very long time. A lovely friend gifted that to me for my birthday, so I finally do have that. And I did buy myself a couple other neutral palettes because, okay, let's be real. As much as I love color, you guys, at heart, I am a basic bitch and I can't help myself but buy basic palettes all the freaking time. So this is what this one looks like. She's really cute. Excuse me while I put myself on silent mode. So here is the new one. She's really cute. She's got some super sparkly shades in there. I don't know. There's just something about the way there's a red and yellow in here really drew me in. I did already gouge one of the shades. I gouged Baked, which is this one down here. I'm gonna leave the frosted thing on the mirror for now because I don't want to blind you guys. So if we were to look at these two palettes side by side, so I have the Supreme Bronze up top, Supreme Nudes is down underneath. They are quite different, but there are some shades that do look quite similar. I will go ahead and do some comparisons of those towards the end of the video, along with a bunch of the other palettes that I pulled to do comparisons with as well. I do like that there's a black in here versus in this one there was only a kind of dark brown. So they definitely are a little bit different. I was actually able to grab this thanks to, I don't even know who let me know. Someone let me know that it was on Sephora exclusive app, early access or whatever. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, yep, okay, gonna go grab it. It came so fast, like in less than 24 hours. In less than 24 hours, which is crazy. If you didn't pick up Supreme Nudes, I don't know that you know how great the formula in this palette was. I'm hoping that this one, this new Supreme Bronze is similar. So we're gonna dive right in. Let's go ahead and look at some swatches of this palette, and then we'll go ahead and do an eye look together, and we'll come back to talk about some comparisons and my final thoughts about this palette. So stay tuned. Okay, I was wondering why my lighting was a little bit off. It's because I had turned one of them off completely. So there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my lids. I'm gonna use my usual Urban Decay primer potion just because that's kind of what works for me all the time and I don't wanna change things up, especially when we're testing a formula that either I'm kind of familiar with or one that I, you know, wanna make sure is actually good. This is my, I guess, Control eyeshadow primer. So I already do have my whole entire face on. I wore my Huda Glowish because I did pick it up in a lighter shade now. I exchanged it and I think this shade works way better for me. The other one was just a smidge too dark. I looked orange when I went out, so this one's beautiful. I'm wearing bronzer, blush, and highlight as Makeup by Mario. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the cards here. I'm wearing the powder blush, not the cream today, but I'm loving the Makeup by Mario product. Brows, I just used powder from Gerard Cosmetics and my NYX brow mascara, and that's kind of all that's on my face right now. I figured after I pick what's going on my eyes, I can pick a lip to go with it at that point. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a blending brush. I think I'm gonna go in first with this shade here called Toasty. We're just gonna take Toasty and pop her in the crease. I find that with the Supreme Nudes palette, they were super, super blendable shadows and very pigmented. So I hope that this is the same so far. Whoa, she's looking good. That's a lot deeper than what it looks like in the pan. So it's nice that like it actually has a little bit depth to it. This is why I can never judge a palette just looking at the pans, because sometimes when you swatch them, they don't swatch exactly as they would seem that they would. That's a kind of beautiful burnt shade. I didn't think that's what it was gonna look like. You definitely look toasty, toasty. Oh, I like that. I don't know what it's been with me. I've been attracted to neutrals lately, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, need more, give me more. All of the neutral palettes are just catching my eyes these days. I don't know what it is about, like you guys know I love playing with color, but there's just something about a very neutral, glowy, fresh-faced makeup look that just makes me feel all kinds of confident. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys are like this too. Let me know in the comments down below, but I just feel like it makes me feel like I can do anything. Anything. Like I feel like a boss bitch. The color I like to do for fun. I feel like it's more therapeutic, and I just love doing those for like Instagram reels and TikToks. Also, like just to show you guys how to be able to play with color. But like, I don't know. There's just something about like even this right now. I'm just like, yes. It was funny because every time I would do like a colorful look, I'm like, ooh, this looks so cool. I feel so cool. And then anytime I would do a neutral look, it would be like this different side of me that was just like, I feel badass. Like I feel like I could go run the world right now. Maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know. But that's how I feel. I don't know. That's just how this like color, or like these kind of colors make me feel, I should say. I just want to make sure this brush is clean. Okay, next I'm just going to take a thinner brush like this, just a random one. I'm going to go into this shade here called Sunkissed. It's a beautiful kind of orange, rusty shade. And I think I want to pop that right underneath, like right into the immediate crease. Is that what we call it nowadays? I don't even know. We've gone from like outer eyelids to like all these different terminologies. I can't keep up. This part of my eye where it starts to fold, that's where I'm popping it. And I'm just kind of placing the color, like swiping it on right now. I think I'm gonna use the yellow, you guys. The yellow looks so stunning. I don't know what I want to do though. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I really like that shade. That's pretty. I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye and just place it. Taking my brush that had Toasty on it, I'm just gonna go ahead and start kind of blending that out, but I'm not gonna put any more product. So we're not gonna take any more of the Sunkissed shade, which is freaking beautiful. I love that. This totally like reminds me of like what I would think if I was to name a shade Sunkissed. It would either be this or like a super peach. I'm just gonna grab some more of the Sunkissed and blend it all out. My brush rolled off my desk. It's fine. I really like how that's looking. Where'd my brush go? Okay, yeah, so I'm really liking how that's looking so far. I think that's super, super pretty. And it's just like the way it blends out. It's something about this formula. I'm so far feeling like it's similar to the Supreme Nudes. I really love the Supreme Nudes palette. And this one's way warmer, and I feel like I'm gonna love this even more. You know, because some days I want to be a super warm beach, and then other days I want to be like not. So let's see, what do I want to do next? I think I'm gonna go for like a really warm look, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna start with the shade Baked, which is this one down here, the dark brown. I'm just gonna grab some of that, and we're gonna put this just on our outer corner. That even looks way darker on the eye than in the pan. You see, that almost looks black. It's like I picked up the black. It's definitely darker. I put a little bit of that too high. It's okay, we can go fix that. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit more of Sunkissed just to fix this issue up there. And I'm gonna take my original brush, and I'm just gonna kind of blend the shade out into that Sunkissed shade. I'll try using one of my Mario compacts just because my mirror sometimes doesn't give me the same visual. Okay, so I need to place a little bit more of that brown. I was actually thinking I might have to darken that with a little bit of the black, but I don't actually think that I do. Okay, pretty. The next shade I want to use, let's see if I'm gonna use this rougher brush. This could like make or break the look. I don't know. I really want to use this shade called Gilded. It's like straight up gold. I don't normally wear like straight up gold all over the lid. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it looks like 24 karat gold. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, I like it. I'm in. I'm in. We're just gonna kind of put that, just, I guess like, I'm gonna leave the inner third of the lid for the yellow. I'm gonna use the shade Soleil there. So we're just gonna go ahead and place that. Oh my God. I love the shade. It's like an orangey gold. Oh my God. What is with these neutral palettes in my heart these days? I don't understand. It's just so easy. It's just so easy. I really, oh my God. That's beautiful. I think I'm gonna use the other side of the brush and go in with this shade Soleil, which is the yellow. And I'm just gonna put that on the inner third. So it's just a little bit brighter. It's a really pretty shade too. I think that would do really nicely over the lid. I'm just trying to use as much of the shades as I can. I'm just gonna kind of blend out this crease. Actually, I'm gonna use this one that I had Sunkissed on.
We have a fly, friends.
I don't know if you can hear it, but she comes near my mic. Okay, so that's so pretty so far. For the inner corner, I'm gonna use the shade Sand, which is this one here.
Oh my gosh, she's like flying around. Go away. It's not filming space.
Can you not?
Did you guys see it? I'm gonna leave that part in. She won't stop. These flies are also stupid, I swear. They just keep like, she keeps running into the fucking walls. Why are you running into the walls? I used to have a mirror in here, like a full standing mirror, and literally the fly would just keep hitting the freaking mirror. So I moved it back to my closet, but I don't know if it was because it thought it was a different room. Like, flies are dumb, guys. I'm just gonna put that out there. Flies are really stupid. But let's get that on. So that's a, my voice kind of got lost there. It's a really soft shade. Beautiful. I think I might pop that on my brow bone too, actually. It's a shade with Sand before the fly so rudely interrupted us. I'm gonna place that up here. That's pretty. It's kind of just like a soft. I feel like you can get a good variation of looks with this palette, to be honest, because I wasn't expecting to get this. Lower lash line, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue with, do I wanna continue with that dark brown? I kind of want Sun-Kissed too though. I think I'm gonna blow out Sun-Kissed on the lower lash line and then closer to the actual lash line we'll put a little bit of the other shade. So I'm gonna grab Sun-Kissed, tap off excess. I'm just gonna kind of tap it with this fluffy brush right underneath and then start kind of blending. Oh, I really love that shade. Okay, that's kind of cute. And then what I'm gonna do is take that dark brown called Baked, the one that we did in our outer corner. And I'm just gonna rub it really close to my lash line just to kind of deepen that up so it looks like my lashes are thicker than they are. Same thing on this eye. Really pretty, I really like that. All right, you guys, so for my, I think for my lash line, I kind of want to go in with the gold. Let's try it. Yeah, I really like how that looks, the gold on the waterline. I feel like it just kind of amps up the look even more and makes your eyes look a little bit brighter. Pretty. And I think the only other thing I want to do is I want to take a little bit more of the gilded shade, which was that gold we put like all over the lid, and I just want to pop it right here, right on that inner corner or inner third of the bottom lash line. That is beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead, pop on some lashes, some, I don't think I'm gonna do liner, but I'm just gonna do lashes and mascara, and then I'll zoom you guys out. We'll be back to talk about the palette, my final thoughts on this. So far, loving it. And then also we'll do some comparisons. So I'll see you guys in just a sec. All right, you guys, so we're back and I have my whole face done. The lips, I decided to go with Milani Spice lip liner, and then I just used Charlotte Tilbury Bitch Perfect lipstick because it was kind of like a peachy nude, and I feel like also, because I was saying I feel like a badass bitch. Perfect name for a lipstick. Should have used one of the proper ones. They have some badass names too, I think. So talking about this palette, mine's now covered in complete fingerprints. It's glaring with the light. I'm so sorry about that, but I think it's beautiful. So this palette retails for $42 US, which I don't think is a terrible price. It's $56 Canadian, and it's currently only available, I think, through the Sephora app for early access, just the app, not the website. I don't know if that's still the case at this time. I think that it's supposed to be, oh no, it's available on the Artist Couture website now too, and you can actually get 10% off if you use the code TRENDMOOD. So if you want to buy it off of there for 10% off, you can do that. There also was Supreme Glow Head to Toe Perfection Oil released. I'm not really into that, so I didn't need it. So I didn't go ahead and pick that up. I just decided to go with the palette because that was the only thing that was available on Sephora anyways. So first impressions of this palette, it blends and feels very similar to the Supreme Nudes formula. So if you enjoyed Supreme Nudes, I think that you would enjoy this. If you like a warmer color story, I think you're really gonna like this. It's really, really beautiful. I am obviously gonna compare it to a few palettes for you guys. I will compare some of the shades between the Supreme Nudes and this one that I think might be similar. And then just to show you some other palettes that I pulled out. A lot of people were talking about the Artist Couture Caliente. I don't think this is very similar at all. If anything, these two shades might be a little bit, but even then, not really. You get one top row that's super cool tone, so I don't think that that even comes close. I did, of course, pull out my Patrick Ta palette that we talked about last weekend. Again, it doesn't really look anything like it. It's very different, but I'll still see if there's any similar tones in there. A cheaper option I pulled out that you guys might have from a while back is the ColourPop Yes Please palette. I think that's kind of got a similar vibe going. I also picked out the Nabla Side by Side palette. Those are side by side. Again, very different, but some similarities. very few, but some. And then I have 2 more palettes that are Natasha Denona, because everyone was talking about the bronze palette, and there is bronze next to Supreme Bronze. I think they're quite different types of bronze actually. And then the last one I decided we would look at is Sunset from Natasha Denona, because I think the ColourPop Yes Please was kind of a dupe for this. These two, I would say, looking at them, the color stories are the most similar, which is what made me want to pick this one up and see what it was about. And here's the thing, this is way more pricey, so I'm not telling you like, oh, go buy this instead. This is more for the people who already have this one and want to know, you know, is it really that similar? Do I need that one? I mean, how many neutral palettes do we really need? You just saw how many I have. I don't really need them all, but I love a good neutral look, and I'm like dying over this right now. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I think to get an easy one out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the 2 shades from the Caliente palette. So I'm swatching these 2. That is Mango Rita and Sensual. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch Mango Rita and Sensual. Okay, so there is Mango Rita and there is Sensual. I'm gonna go ahead and compare those. I think what I'm gonna compare to the orangey matte is obviously the shade Sunset. So there it is. Those 2 are very similar in shade. I would say the only difference is the formula. I think that the one from Caliente is more powdery and creamy feeling, whereas this one's a little bit different. The only other shade in here that's going to match with that kind of orange Mango Rita shade is the gilded shade that's all over my lid. Okay, so those 2 are also quite similar. So I would say yeah, but also gilded has a little bit more metallic to it, whereas you can see that the one from the Caliente doesn't really. So similar shades. I wouldn't say the same, but on the eyes, they probably will look alike. So next, let's go into the ColourPop Cute AF. See, mine says Cute AF, but I'm pretty sure it was called the Yes Please. I'm gonna go ahead and do Sunkissed again. Okay, so I'm gonna do Sunkissed again. We're gonna compare it to some of the brown tones in here. See, I don't even think I need to go that far because that's pretty dupe worthy already. So I swatched this one here next to Sunkissed. And I feel like that's pretty much similar. Top one is from Supreme Bronze. Okay, next let's do Tantalize, because I think there's a dupe for Tantalize in here. Tantalize is kind of a bronze metallic. And there's one in the top right corner. Okay, so the one in the ColourPop palette, which is this one, is a little more red, whereas the one in Artist Couture is definitely more bronze, you can see there. So those are quite different, I would say. There's one more shade I can compare. It's definitely more on the peachy side. That's the Artist Couture. So I think that they're quite different so far. Obviously, formula's sake, I would say that I would go with the Artist Couture over ColourPop, because that's just my personal opinion. I think their formula is better. Okay, so I think for the most part, that's like it. I would say the browns are probably similar too. We'll just do maybe a teeny swatch of each. The one in Supreme Nudes, which is the bottom one, is definitely more cool toned. The ColourPop one on the top is definitely more red toned. So that's probably the biggest, you know, comparisons in those palettes. So I would say 1, 2, 3 shades. 3 shades you have similar ones. And I kind of tend to want to focus on shades that look more unique to a palette rather than just kind of, you know, any single shade ever. As for Patrick Ta, honestly, there's really not much. I would say maybe this shade, this top right corner kind of beige shade next to Sand, which is the one I used in my inner corner, but they're different. The Patrick Ta on top is more of a white base. The one underneath is Artist Couture Sand, which is more champagne. It's like a really true champagne, I don't know. And then the Patrick Ta is almost more of a topper feel, whereas the Supreme Nudes is something that's more of an eyeshadow feel and you could wear it all over the lid, I think. So I would say that it's quite different. The brown, I think in here is going to be quite different, but I can still swatch it for you guys. Let's swatch those two. I would say the browns are pretty different. The top one is Patrick Ta and the bottom one is Artist Couture. And then the other shade I will do is Tantalize, which is that bronze shade. And it's really hard, you guys. Keeping the sparkles off my face. Okay, so I did the bronze from Patrick Ta underneath. Those two bronzes are quite different. The one from Supreme Nudes has more of an orange base, and I would say that the one from Patrick Ta is a little bit more on the rosy pink side. So they are quite different, those two. So I would say, I mean, I'm not going to do the beiges next to each other because on the eye, they're just going to look the same anyway. So I would say for the most part, not a lot of similarities. This one's definitely more neutral. This one's definitely more warm. So I would say those two are quite different. Okay, so next I'm going to do the Nabla Side by Side palette. I'm going to put these side by side. I'm just looking to see what might be similar. Okay, so I'm going to do the shade Taupeless and Beauty Mark. So I'm going to do Supreme Nudes on the top, or Supreme Bronze on the top, side by side underneath. I think that's how I'm going to go about it. Okay, and then we'll do Gilded. I'm not going to bother doing the black, you guys, because I don't know. I just don't think there's a need. We'll compare some of the cool tones from here. Okay, so here are a few of them. I would say the tones between the two palettes are quite different for sure. The two at the bottom there. So there's Glisten from Supreme Nudes, and underneath that is Love Ritual from Side by Side. I would say Love Ritual has a bit more of a purple undertone, whereas the Glisten shade is definitely more taupe. And then I have Tantalize from Supreme Bronze and Magic Moment from Side by Side. And this Magic Moment shade is a bit more pink. Same thing with the two gold shades. I did Gilded and Paradiso. And Paradiso is definitely more of an orange, more of like a bronzy orange base, whereas like the Gilded shade is like a gold. And same thing with the matte shades, Taupeless and Beauty Mark. I think that Beauty Mark is just a little bit warmer. Taupeless is obviously a cool toned taupe shade. So those are still quite different, but I think if you have Nabla Side by Side, you can get the effect of this palette that you don't really need it. I mean, no one really needs this palette, right? So I just want to do the comparison so that if you have palettes, you can kind of get the look. I mean, to be honest, any neutral palette will probably give you the look, you know. You can make it happen. You have a singles collection, you can make it happen. Okay, let's go into Natasha Denona. We'll do Tantalize and High Degree, and we'll do Gloaming with that set as well. That's kind of the only shade in here that looks similar. So Tantalize is on top, then we have High Degree, and then we have Gloaming. I will say Gloaming and Tantalize are very, very similar, but different. Definitely different, but similar. So if you have Gloaming, you really don't need that Tantalize shade. So if you're gonna look at this palette and be like, I want it because that Tantalize shade is pretty, and you have bronze, you don't need it. You really don't. Okay, now, before we go back to Supreme Nudes and compare, we're gonna go into the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. Okay, so let's do, this is gonna be hard because her thing has a sheet on it. So I'm gonna do Tantalize again. I feel like Tantalize is such a common shade, and we're gonna do Atmosphere from Natasha Denona. Okay, quite different, but similar enough. Again, I'll show you in a second. I'm gonna do a couple more shades. We're gonna do Sunkissed, and let's do Terra, and maybe let's do Sinai. Okay, so there's a couple. That's Supreme Nudes, that's Natasha Denona, quite different. This is Supreme Nudes Sunkissed, and underneath is Terra, and then this is Sinai. So also quite different shades. not the same, but I also would like to do, the other one I think I want to do is Gilded again. We're going to do it next to Mandarin, I think is what it's called. Oh, that's a beautiful shade. I need to dip into this palette. Okay, and then we'll do, let's do HBIC, whatever that means. And let's do Body, Abode. Wow. So there's Gilded on top, there's Mandarin underneath, and then there's HBIC, which I have no idea what that stands for. I'll put it here because I'm old. And then underneath that is Abode. I think that's how you say it. Obeyed. I don't know. Anyways, different but similar. If you have this, you do not need the Artist Couture palette. Okay, finally, let's look at Supreme Nudes. Let's look at the sister palettes and see, are there similarities? Okay, let's do this. So, I mean, there's a beige in Supreme Nudes, which is called Exposed. There's a beige in in Supreme Bronze called Mirage. There is a brown, just checking which one's the closest. There's a brown called Transcend in Supreme Nudes that looks similar to the brown called Toasty. Then we have the shade Opulence in Supreme Nudes. And then we have HBIC in Supreme Bronze. Next, the only other shade is Mink, which is the dark brown from Supreme Nudes, and Baked from Supreme Bronze. So Supreme Nudes on top. I would say the beige is pretty much the same, but the rest of the shades definitely have differences, as you can tell. So there is Transcend versus Toasty right underneath. Here I have Mink and Baked. And then here I have Opulence and then HBIC. So they're quite different. I think these palettes will work really beautifully together, but do you need both? No, you don't need both, but I love Supreme Nudes because it has that, you know, that green and the kind of lavish shade, which is like a gold green. And so far from the look that I got and the first impressions, feelings that I'm having about Supreme Nudes is that I freaking love it. So, but like, I feel like I'm also kind of just like am I biased? No, not really. I mean, I love Mac Daddy. I really do, but I don't feel like I'd buy his products just because they're his. I mean, I did not love his lip glosses. I bought one when Caliente collection came out. I didn't love it. It was too sticky. Just wasn't my favorite. I liked the lipstick. It was okay. The diamond dust powders are just a bit too much for me because they're loose. I might try pressing those eventually. I'll see, but I have like two, I think, little mini ones. I don't know if I have a full size. I think I have a full size that I got in like a, what's that box that I used to get? BoxyCharm. Anyways, so those are my feelings about the palette. I think that it's beautiful, but I think if you're lacking in the neutral palette department and just want a really great formula, you can go for this, especially if you don't want to spend like Natasha Denona prices or Patrick Top prices. I think this one's a lot more affordable, especially because you get 12 shades for $42 US. So I really, really enjoy this. I really like how it blended out on the eyes. The look that I created with it is very kind of sunny and bright, and I really like that a lot. So I think that if you don't have colors like this in your collection or a color story like this in collection, because I know a lot of people will get palettes and are like, I like to travel with it. So I've traveled with my Supreme Nudes before, and it was the perfect palette for me to take because I was able to get a variation of looks out of it depending on my mood. And I feel like I could do the same thing with this Supreme Bronze palette because it has cool tones, but it also has warm tones. You can be very neutral, you can be very bright, you know? So I think personally that even for me, like this is a palette I would probably reach for, like if I was going to an Indian wedding or something. Like I feel like this is something that I could wear. But then again, I could also wear like my Natasha Denona palettes and all the other ones. But then again, I have it because I'm on YouTube. I'm here to, you know, compare this for you guys, let you know what my thoughts are about it. Formula is just as great as the Supreme Nudes. So if you enjoyed that formula, it's just as good as that. I don't feel like it was off like the Caliente formula, but the difference with the Caliente was that it was a pressed pigment. This one is a mix of pressed pigments and eyeshadow formula. So I think it's a lot easier to work with. They don't feel as powdery or as like, you know, they don't have a lot of fallout. I mean, I did my face first today and I did my eye makeup after and everything went smoothly. And my mascara is coming down onto my under eye area because my lashes are too long. And why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? Anyway, so I'm gonna go wash these swatches off. I hope that you guys are all doing great. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so that you know when I post a video. I'm trying to get lots of content out right now. I don't have a set schedule, but I'm trying to push out as many videos for you guys as I can. They're coming out pretty sporadically, so do hit that notification bell so you know when my next one's gonna be out. Don't forget to like the video or dislike the video depending on how it made you feel. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know, are you grabbing this palette? Did you already grab it? What are your thoughts? Do you like the Artist Couture brand? What are your feelings about it? I feel like no one really talks about this brand that much, so I want to know. Leave me a comment down below. Until the next one, you guys, I hope that you all stay safe, stay healthy, and be kind. Bye.